Hiya! This is my first video about a very personal experience that I really wanted to share, and I've been meaning to do this for a long time, but now that I'm actually raising money for a charity that I really support, which is Mind for mental health, I do want to talk about my mental health, and I want to talk about antidepressants in specific and my experience with them. So let's start by saying that antidepressants are a way for you to cope with issues such as anxiety and depression, and it is a tool for you to use to get from a point to another. It's not something that's meant to be there for all of your life, or at least from my experience, it's just something that gets me into the position where I can take care of some issues while being lucid and stable emotionally. My first experience with antidepressants was 2 or 3 years ago. I can't really remember. I think 2. When I was in Italy back then, and I had experienced anxiety and generalized anxiety disorder for the first time, in a very intensive way. So because of these issues, I could not really live my life in a normal way. I couldn't sleep. Palpitations were quite of a big symptom for me, and the other one was tinnitus and muscle tension. So I will get this kind of really strong ringing in my ear, and I couldn't sleep. That couldn't let me sleep. And then I would also feel dizzy, tired, and I will get these really strong headaches and migraines given by the fact that my muscles were pulling so much that I was feeling just very tense and on the edge all the time. So the first thing that I've been prescribed was amitriptyline, which actually helps you just to sleep better. I'm not really sure how it works because this hasn't been explained to me when I was prescribed this. Another thing that I really like to talk about. And I've been on it for a while. When I did understand that it wasn't working and I was experiencing the same issues that I had back at the start, I stopped using it. I made a mistake there because I stopped all of a sudden, and you should never do that. You should always do it gradually. Talk to your doctor if you don't want to take them anymore. And when I did come off of it, I started looking into other options and talked to my doctor, changed my doctor, especially because the ones that I was having to deal with before, multiple doctors, you never see the same here, was really not helping me, and people were not listening to me at all, and it happens very easily in a medical center. But anyway, after that I was prescribed citalopram, which is what I'm on right now. That really made a big difference because that was starting to work on the serotonin levels, so that really helped with my low mood experiences too, and not only with the anxiety. This took time for it to start working, and they will tell you when you start taking it that it will actually take some time. And maybe the first few weeks you might experience some really bad anxiety attacks and low mood and depression as well. But once you get through it, yes, it does stabilize your mood. What I can say for myself is that while my daily life became easier, because I've been learning to cope with things differently, because my mood was stable and my anxiety was pretty much non-existing, besides a few like isolated cases maybe on a monthly basis, that was not coming up anymore. But what antidepressants do, and again, this is my experience, I'm not a doctor, so just take it as a personal experience, is putting a lid on your emotions. And it's something that nobody tells you is that they put a lid on every emotion you have, not just sadness or anger, but also excitement and pleasure. So whatever is related to your instincts. But what I can say is that probably for what it's worth doing it if you need to get from a point to another in your life, when you need to make important decisions and you're not able to cope with how you're feeling in that moment. It doesn't have to be taken as a solution, like a long-term solution or something that's going to be there for all of your life. And some people do take it all their lives, and there's nothing wrong with it. I just don't feel like, for me, that will be the best way to approach it, because again, it doesn't feel like everything is the same anymore. So as I said, like it takes away some painful and negative thoughts of your head, but it also, kind of lower the positives too. And whatever is extreme is not extreme anymore. So yes, there is a good side and a bad side to it, just like everything. And after a few months, it still feels quite like the right thing to be on. At the moment, I'm on 20 milligrams per day, and that's kind of it's like a low dose. And I will say that has been a really good decision. I wouldn't recommend to do it without seeing a therapist or having like another type, like a method to understand what's at the root of your issue, whatever mental health related issue it is, but to do it in parallel with something that can help you figure out what is wrong. And the best advice I can give is to, besides talking to your friend, like talking to a doctor. And it took me 2 years for me to understand that I could have done with a therapist, whatever type of therapy you decide to go for. There's a CBT that's based on things that you can do now practically to deal with your anxiety or depression, and there's talking therapy. There's several things that you can do, and that's totally down to what you think you need the most. I feel like nobody can really identify their problems by simply thinking about what's wrong in their lives on a daily basis. There might be so many factors that influence and trigger what you experience. So it's really, really difficult. And for you to narrow it down, you need to try as many things as possible. It's much better to get out there and do it rather than sit and just do nothing, which is something that I've been doing for a long, long time. And it's so easy, and it's just you need to think that your life is going to end sooner or later. It sounds bad, but it's true. So you don't want to waste your time feeling depressed all the time. You don't want to waste your time trying to figure out by yourself how to sort out a thing. And there is no shame in asking for help. There is no shame in talking about it, which is why I'm doing this, because I don't want to feel ashamed, and I don't want others to think that there is a shame for me to talk about this. It's absolutely okay, and in the world that we're living in, it's absolutely fine to feel this way. Again, let's take away this fucking stigma, because I really do not stand it anymore. I don't want people to use these things, and depression and anxiety, I don't want people to use them in any way, not to blame you and not to like justify you either. So yes, let's just talk about it a bit more and raise awareness. If you want to donate for this cause, I am collaborating with my bandmates to raise money for Mind, this charity that deals with mental health. You can do it in the link that I put in the description, and that will be really, really helpful for us. And it's just a cause that we just feel so close to our own experiences and personal experiences, which is why we're doing it. So yeah, thank you for listening and watching. And if you do have any questions about antidepressants, the way they work, and what type of antidepressants I've been on, and or if you have the same experience, just let me know. And I hope this was helpful, at least for a few of you. See you soon.